Before Gene passed on, did you ever run into him at all?
Never. Didn't want to. Never. And I give him props for basically protecting us, showing us lifestyle, fashion, and how to maneuver in this industry by watching him do what he shouldn't have done. But I still say he took advantage of young kids. He took advantage of a lot of people. He took advantage of the gifts that we had. And that's what I've known him for. And I never had a chance to say whatever. I never made amends, and never. No.
Yeah. I know that loads of people then, one of the questions somebody asked was about, now you've demonstrated earlier by when you were singing some of your lyrics, but did you continue over the last couple of years still singing, but not either publicly or just at home, or what was?
You mean now?
Yeah, because that's what. Yeah, since
now I'm vice president of urban music for Pop Life Global Universal. So I'm vice president of urban and Latin music. So a lot of my business now is administration.
Oh.
And I also, supervise movies. So that's what I do. Like I told Elise, I called her at 4-something in the morning because China and, the States are 17-hour difference.
Yeah.
So I just went to bed at like 5 in the morning and I called her like at 4:30, so I'm getting ready to go to bed. So I had this meeting. I just reminded myself when the meeting was because I was out of it. So, but I got myself together.
Wow.
Around 1 o'clock, took a shower and stuff to really be with you. But yeah, so I'm in the administration side of it, still write and produce. But certain artists that I love, still basically trying to reacclimate myself with certain artists and whatever, because I've been focusing on publishing and the business side of it.
Okay. So the actual performance side, have you lost?
No, I haven't performed, man. I haven't performed in, Jesus. I haven't performed in 28 years.
Wow.
Yeah, 28 years. Don't mean I can still do it though.
Yeah.
But I would have to get in shape, condition, whatever. But I still play my piano and bass all the time. So That's not the point. It's just physically getting conditioned for that.
I mean, because some people have asked. I mean, as I said, a couple of people started asking, could you imagine, even if it was a one-off show or like a charity event or like a Rock and Roll Hall of Fame? Could you see yourself and Aaron and Teddy just doing one of those BET Legends or Soul Train sort of stuff and just having a one-off performance?
Of course. I think Teddy has already tried to do it in so many different venues and avenues by having Damien and Aaron and Blackstreet, but there's so many different members, but no one never really saw me, myself, and Aaron, Damien, and Teddy together. I tell you what, if we put our heads together, we don't have to be best friends, but it'd be multi-million dollars. If we do 2-3 shows. If we do 2 or 3 shows, we don't even have to, we could just rehearse, leave, rehearse, say what's up, get that bag. It will be sold out. I've told this on other interviews. I believe personally that if people really knew the 4 of us were back together, it would sell out in hours.
Mm-hmm.
Hours.
Yeah, I know.
Live Nation, anybody put it together, it would sell out in hours. If everybody knew that, okay, it's not about one person. Everybody is getting their own money. Because I'm going to get mine. I don't care what. I'm going to get mine. I'm going to be honest with you. But if everybody is getting their own, like Aaron and Damien, and there's no more going through Teddy and the stories that I heard was like, these guys had to go through Teddy to get their money. They never really seen a publishing check. I was shocked. When Aaron told me that, and then Damien, I was shocked. Matter of fact, Damien will tell you that he never really got a publishing check from God. I'm like, what? What? So
yeah,
if it's set up to where they get their monies, that it comes directly from the promotion company or the company that's putting the show on and the venue, I think everybody will have a different attitude and a different look at making it happen.
What about recording new material? Because obviously the skill of writing hasn't left, and it's like a McCartney Lennon joke with yourself and Teddy, LA and Babyface. You know, Babyface could write, but having LA with the sort of the percussions and the sort of the rhythms, it just married.
Right.
Could you ever see yourselves, even if the guy stuff was still harder to pull off, but the collaboration on a track?
Nothing is impossible. Nothing is impossible. I believe when you put two people back together who had that touch, that just like two old siblings meeting that was adopted by different parents, once they meet up again, they just hug and cry and they start speaking for each other almost like you go back in the time.
Yeah.
Nothing is impossible if you put those elements back together, like you said. It's like the only thing that bothers me is I've seen white rock groups do it.
Yeah.
I even seen Ozzy Osbourne. I was looking at Black Sabbath, like Ozzy Osbourne last night. I'm like, okay, they kicked him out the group. They did all this to Ozzy. He became a superstar in his own right. Now you got four old white men still able to sit down and talk.
Yeah.
And reunite.
Yeah.
I hold no animosity. It's like the Bible is like Joe. I felt like Joseph. I hold no animosity. Y'all sent me to the slaves. God, what you intended bad for me, God made good for me. I get it. Okay, now let's get the bag. Let's get that bag, because it's out there. It's too many people with the same questions you have. What about if y'all four got back together? Oh my God. Because you done saw it. Teddy. You done saw Damien try to sing his brother's songs. You done saw Aaron and Teddy. You done saw Teddy, Damien, and Aaron. Okay, we got that. But everybody, 33 years later, everybody's still wondering, okay, what about the original guy? What about Timmy Gatling? Didn't he create it? Didn't he do this? Well, what's going on? And if we got back together, I think it'll be remarkable.
Yeah. I mean, we have to really appreciate. I think the final question we had was that if you were stuck in a lift and stuff, and you had to watch a movie, and they said, look, 3 hours, we can put a movie for you. What would you pick to watch?
My favorite movie. What would I pick? Once Upon a Time in America.
Is that the Denzel one?
No, Once Upon a Time in America with Robert De Niro.
Oh.
And it's a gangster movie, but the movie reminded me so much of us. You have to see the movie.
I'm gonna have to look for that.
It's called Once Upon a Time in America.
Wow.
It was a big, huge movie. A huge movie. But I give you a little synopsis. It's about two friends that were young kids together, and they did, stole a little. It's set back in the 20s. They stole a little bit of whatever. Two friends that was the leader. It was four guys, but it was two friends that came up together. Robert De Niro went in prison for a little bit, but when he got out, now they moved the crime up, the criminal behavior to, okay, now they robbing banks and now they work for this big gangster, whatever. But what's the other man's name? But Robert De Niro and the other friend, they started to get off into politics. But Robert De Niro was basically, listen, we do what we do, but I want this simple life over here. Where the other one was more, I want to get into politics. I want to do this. I want to do that. Well, then He stole Robert De Niro's woman. He started claiming all the fame for himself. He started sabotaging Robert De Niro. But at the end of the movie, when Robert De Niro they reunited, they old men now. And Robert De Niro confronted him. Even though he gained all this wealth and political power, and he had a woman that really didn't belong to him, but so she was miserable. He went and threw himself in a garbage can compactor because he couldn't live with himself.
Wow. Okay.
But that movie was so deep. It's called Once Upon a Time in America.
I'm gonna check it out. What about song? Because they said, okay, we're gonna put this movie on for you, but let's put a song for you to. Let's put a song. What would you pick if you had that one song to play?
Frankie Beverly and Maze, Before I Let Go.
Oh wow! Wow, why that song?
I love it. And listen to the lyrics. That song, it was like that. Matter of fact, I'll never forget. My big sister took me and my it's 7 of us, but she took the 3 siblings to the it was Kool and the Gang, Frankie Beverly and Maze, and I forgot the other. But lyrically, I've always, and I think that really guided and directed what type of songs I wanted to write. Very simple but powerful. And the song is "You Made Me Happy."
Yeah.
It's like I was like, and then it's like, even though we breaking up, but let me tell you this before I let go. What the?
Okay.
It's so simple, but meaningful and strong. It's like, and then the beat, the bass line. Yeah. Simple but powerful. If that song didn't have that, and that's how if you listen to the first God record, simple bass lines but powerful.
Yeah.
If you listen to what I did for Keith, Christopher Williams, Belle Biv DeVoe, simple bass lines but powerful.
Yeah.
Like on Belle Biv DeVoe, I used the fretless bass line. Boom, doo, doo, doom, doom, boom, doom, doom, doom. But everything else, simple but strong. And I wrote like that.
Wow.
Don't. It's like, come on. Man, come on, man.
Yeah.
After that, if I had to play that, if that song stayed on for hours, I could live with that.
Yeah, you could.
I could live with that before I let go. You made me happy. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Yes, I can feel. Come on, it's a rap.
Yeah, it is.
I'm good.
No, you've been a legend. It's been amazing to go through the album with you, to hear your story, your journey. As I said, for fans around the world who have been, you come up with an album that creates a genre and spawns fans, and music isn't the same, as you might attest. Being a label executive, it's quick and fast. No one's releasing 7 tracks on an album anymore. No one's going to the Apollo to sing live or any of that stuff. So there's a lot of us that have missed that, and we're not we miss the real lyrics, the stuff that, Ready for the World is written, Frankie Beverly and Maze, those sort of slow songs that really talk about pure love, and we don't get that. And so it's been a privilege to listen to how you created your songs, and because no one knows who wrote any of the stuff because it's not written in there. Even if you go to anywhere, it won't tell you who wrote what or how it came about. So
that was basically to disguise everything like it. And if you look at the credits, it has Gene Griffin, Teddy Riley, myself, and Aaron Hall. Yeah. It's like Gene Griffin was never a writer.
Yeah.
But that's what he did. But they had to release that album, I would say this, and I'm glad I did it. But me being out the group and not signing that contract allotted me and afforded me to do a lot of different things. And they had to basically pay me, handsomely to release the album.
Wow.
Yeah, I got paid very handsomely for them to release that record.
Looking back at how your life has turned out, family and everything, when you look back and think, if I had been a star, you know, an R&B star, and that life, would you look and think things would have been different, because just, you know, the limelight and all the pressures and that, compared to the direction you took behind the scenes?
Yeah, I would have. I'll be honest with you, that I thought about that, and I had many different emotions and thoughts. But when I pray about it, I'm glad that I went on the way, the path that God put me on. Because if I would have just fell in line and been subservient to Jane and not tried to cause drama, after talking to Aaron and Damien, literally talking to them, to find out all these years, the only thing they lived off of was show money, was horrible. It was sad to me. Mm-hmm. I didn't feel good about it. It was very sad to me. It was like, yes, I would have had the fame, but I wouldn't have learned the business. I wouldn't have been able to retain my publishing. I wouldn't have been able to call shots with just my attorneys. I wouldn't have been able to be married for this long. I wouldn't have been able to have my children in private school, and they all have degrees, and still they're tight knit. Like, I have 2 girls and a son, 28 to 22, and they all are tight knit. My baby girl is finishing up her college at NLV. So God has blessed me, and He's first and foremost in my life. And I'm still able to go and talk. And now I'm in a position where I'm vice president of a China-based / universal company that I didn't ask for. It fell in my lap, and they paid me handsomely. And so I really don't take I try to be kind and courteous, but I don't take bullshit from people, because I haven't seen it all, but I've witnessed a lot of things that I would never want to go back to. When I was young, I cried like a baby. Yeah. But if I found myself on tour for 30 years because of our fans and they like us, but I was broke, I wouldn't have been happy with that. I would have been miserable. Yeah. I would want to commit suicide. Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it's the one thing that when I first connected with you, I noticed that, you know, a man of faith, and I guess it's that sense of having a sense that, you know, with your faith, God knew then what was going to happen, and sort of said, you know, you may not like it now, but later on you'd understand, you know, looking back. And so it's good to be able to reflect and see, yeah, you know what, it was hurtful then, but if I had stayed in that, you know, God knows what life would have turned out to be.
Exactly. That's perfect. And that's exactly the way it was. It was perfect because God really guided and directed my path. I mean, when I felt like people didn't care, they didn't. It was proven. They didn't care whether I was dead and alive. They never asked about my mother. And me and Teddy used to eat breakfast at my house as a little boy. Dinners. We were close. And Teddy never reached out. When my mother passed away, I didn't hear from Teddy. Aaron knew all of my family. But Teddy, the most longest, because we were so young together. Yeah. And if that person was able to go off and didn't care, just because I meet new people don't mean that, I'm very reluctant to really meet new people and all of a sudden bring them into my camp or embrace them. Like, if it happens, it's known to me. It's got to be something from God. But normally, and I've been like that for so many years. I haven't been on social media. I never came out against Teddy and Aaron publicly. Never, and said anything. for all these years. Why is that? Because I felt like, okay, listen, if that's what they need to live off of, fine. God has blessed me. I'm good.
Yeah.
Every song that they play, every song that they put out, every song other artists can do or whatever, I have to sign off on it. Period. So if what makes your boat float is to tell these different stories, okay, that's cool with you. Just don't keep telling them about me. And that's what irked me. If you want to tell a different story about the group or how the group was formed or whatever, but when you start talking about how Timmy left the group, how Timmy did this, how Gene told Timmy this, that's bullshit. First of all, I wasn't that type of kid. I didn't care. Gene was a gangster, but so was my family. I didn't give a fuck about Gene like that. I liked him and loved him because he was that father figure that was fly. But I used to yell at Gene. I'm 16, 17, said, that ain't true. I used to talk like that. So Gene never smacked me up. Gene ain't never put his hands on me because my family and the crew in my block would have been down in that office. Gene knew it. Teddy knew it. I didn't come from that, just a little kid that wasn't connected. Anybody could get it. Whether you good or bad, anybody could get it. I never would. And Gene saw that confidence in me even then. So what do you do when a person has a group and now you want to take over the group? The first thing anybody do, just like businesses, corporations, whatever, when a takeover comes, you get rid of the old staff. You bring in your crew.
Yeah. Gene
had to get rid of me because he felt like I had too much influence over Teddy and Aaron, and he was right. I just didn't know it was gonna be that easy.
Yeah.
And it was easy.
Yeah. But I think one of the things you sort of summarize towards the end is very much a story of destiny, as much as because the gifting to create the songs and the sound and the vision of everything and how it was taken away. But you've always maintained that God has been behind you in everything, and that if they couldn't have taken it away without him saying, I know what I'm doing for you in the long run. And so that's the narrative I've received from listening to your whole story, is that you had God on your side all this time and he knew what was happening for the bigger purpose for yourself and family and everything. And that's been amazing to hear, as much as you admitted it was tough then, but being able to reflect now.
Woo! It was so tough. If it wasn't for my wife, if it wasn't for close friends, if it wasn't for my partner, Alton Wilkie Stewart, who I gotta say, they always lift me up. Because I was still a little damaged, even when I was writing hits. I was still writing hits for these people. And a lot of times my partner had to say, hey, Tim, shake that shit off. I got you. It was you. Prove it was you. Write these hits.
Yeah.
And that was part of what brought me through. And my mother and my family, they was like, listen, this, I ain't gonna say what they said, but anyway, it was like, yo, this is what we do.
Yeah.
We got it. Yeah. And even though I like to move smooth, like I like to move quietly but deadly. I've always been that way. Yeah. I've always been that way, where you think I'm flashy to a sense of I love to dress. When you see me, I could wear the expensive jewelry and I could not wear it. It doesn't matter to me. Yeah. But when I show up, you know, who is this? And then you find out, oh, this is this person. Why haven't I heard from him before? Why haven't I done this before? Yeah. And so I've always moved that way.
Yeah.
So I'm not one to, oh, look at me. Look at my suit. Look at all the music I did. Look at all of this.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I've never been that way. So it's all good.
Yeah. I mean, as I said, it's been a pleasure. It's been an honor. It's been a great track back in memory, but it's been inspiring to hear for a lot of people who, if we have setbacks, and it could be tough. You mentioned Joseph, just, you know, if you have your faith, really rely on that, because it you know, I think Donnie McClurkin says that we fall down, but we get up.
We get up.
Yeah, and so it's really inspiring to hear that.
He's in the hospital right now, so prayers up for
yeah,
Donnie.
Definitely. definitely. So I really appreciate your time. You know,
Thank you so much. It was a pleasure.
All right, thanks.
And thank Elise for making it happen.
Yeah, Elise. Yeah.
You're welcome. Oh, by the way, the founder of Kool and the Gang, Robert Bell, passed away.
Oh man, the bass player.
Bell, yeah, he was 68.
Wow, that bass player. That's another legend that I got my bass licks from.
Wow.
So simple. If you listen to the Kool and the Gang when they came back with JT,
yeah,
bass line so simple. Ladies' Night, Too Hot, Celebration.
Cherish, yeah.
Bass line so simple but so significant.
Wow.
So simple. So I didn't know that, at least, but
wow.
Rest in peace, Robert Kool Bell. That's my boy.
I just read it on the internet. So yeah, it's very sad. I've seen them in concert over 30 times.
Wow. Love them. Well, I love you guys.
Yeah.
Gotta get ready. Take a nap and then get back to work. But thank you so much.
Thanks very much.
Thank you, buddy.
Thank
you. All right, Ali.
See you later. Thanks for watching. Please remember to subscribe to the channel, but most importantly to press the notification bell so that you can be notified when we do have a new interview. Loads to come, but thanks a lot for watching.
I begin to